Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Snowspeeder restoration challenge that I've been set by rareberg.com. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2 then please follow the links on this video so you can see how I got from the bare shell of a snowspeeder up to this nice pristine looking snowspeeder you see in front of you. And if you haven't checked out rareberg.com yet, there's a link in the description to this video and you can check out their excellent website where you can buy and sell all sorts of collectibles. So let's get on with part 3 of this video, and we'll get some stickers and some other custom stickers made for this snowspeeder. As we left this at the end of part 2, I'd managed to, as you can see, pretty much clean up the snowspeeder and get most parts for it, so it's actually starting to look pretty good. I was still missing one rear engine, which I've now managed to find, so we can put that in place. That makes the snowspeeder look complete. I'd like to say a big thank you to Jonathan Stokes, who got in touch with me on Facebook and was able to supply me with a spare harpoon block to go on the back of the snowspeeder. This is actually a reproduction. It's made out of slightly lighter plastic, but it's actually, it's pretty reasonable reproduction, so I'm happy to stick this on the back of the snowspeeder. I'm still missing the harpoon, which sits on the back here, but as most collectors will know, that's actually a pretty hard bit to find. So if I can't find it, I will return this to Rareberg without it, but hopefully one will turn up at some point and I can just put that on and tie a bit of string between that and the harpoon block. So the snowspeeder itself is an excellent toy. It's really quite screen accurate in its dimensions and the detailing that's been added to it. But the one thing that I always thought let it down were these stickers that were originally supplied by Kenner. They were very plain and didn't really match the ship that you saw in the movies. They had sort of strange bits of sort of venting and stuff on the front and some vents along these edge panels. It just didn't look very nice. So rather than just sort of doing a standard restoration on this ship for Rareberg, I thought I would try and make some custom stickers. So I found a scan of the original sticker sheet, and in Photoshop I've sort of started to rework it to make it look a lot more like the ship that you see in the movies. But I didn't want to go too far and make it really sort of accurate with lots of sort of detailing and metalwork to it. So what I've done is I've recreated it in a Kenner sort of vintage style, but still more screen accurate. So on the back we'll be able to have some red stripes. There also should be a red stripe down the front part of the ship here, and also just some other little bits of detailing. So after a few hours work in Photoshop, I ended up with this. As you can see here, this is my new sticker sheet, and I'll put this available on my website at the end, so if you want to do this sort of custom work on your own ship, then you can. And as you can see here, I've got red stripes to go on the back section here and some other bits of detailing just to make it look a bit more screen accurate. I kept some bits fairly similar to the original style Kenner stickers, but I've also added bits that I just thought would look a lot better. And if you'll notice here on the side of the ship, there's some little foot holes so that you can climb, a character could climb up into the cockpit. And I always thought these looked a little bit plain, so I've created some small little dark panels that I can stick into those, and hopefully that will make these look a little bit sort of well, just make them stand out a little bit better. So let's go ahead and we'll cut these stickers up and we'll start applying them to the ship. The original Snowspeeder had a sort of grill sticker that stuck on the front, but again, I was never particularly happy with how that looked. The actual Snowspeeders you see in the film have a red stripe down the front and a small grill on a panel there. So what I've done here is, rather than recreate a new grill, I've made a stripe that matches the dimensions of the movie version of the Snowspeeder, which I'm going to stick on like so. And this red stripe actually carries on onto the cockpit. So if I just put the cockpit in place for 1 second, I've also made a small section that can stick onto the front of the cockpit, which I will do in a minute. And I've made a smaller grill that can just stick over there. So hopefully that should look a lot more screen accurate than the original Kenner stickers. A neat tip for cutting out some of these smaller round little stickers is actually to use a hole punch. If you take the bottom off a hole punch, you can then see through the hole where the punch actually sort of pushes out like that, and you can line up some of these smaller stickers and they perfectly fit through the hole punch hole. So if I now just punch these out like so, then it's much easier to cut them out like that than it is to cut them out by hand. So I can just punch out a whole load of these. I've done a few different colours here, red and black, so I can just punch out a whole load of them and then stick them on separately. And so here we have all my custom stickers in place. As you can see, it does look a lot more screen accurate than the original sticker set that came with the Snowspeeder, but still pretty sort of old school and old fashioned type detailing. I haven't gone overboard with adding too many new stickers. I created a few around the windows because there's clearly markings on the windows that they never included. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the detailing on the front is now a lot more sort of screen accurate. The fact you've got red stripes on there. I've also recoloured and redone these sort of strange alien marking type things that are on the side here, and added the sort of black bits to the step places where you can put your feet to get into the ship, and also added the red stripe on the back. But I've also kept some things sort of quite original, so the sort of warning stripes on the back I've kept the same, and also there's the markings on the bottom. Again, I've kept pretty original because you don't really ever see the bottom of the Snowspeeder, so I didn't really want to sort of make anything up for that that wasn't sort of unnecessary. So there you go, that's the custom stickers, and I'm pretty pleased with how they look. The next thing I want to do though is, I always quite like the battle damage stickers that were on the X-Wing and TIE Fighter. I know some people don't like those, but I did actually quite like the sort of the added level of sort of detail that they added. So I'm going to go ahead and create some new ones that can be used not only on the Snowspeeder, they're going to be sort of a universal set of stickers that we can use on other ships. So I managed to find a scan of the original battle damage stickers that were created for the X-Wing, and I've taken those into Photoshop and modified them and sort of recreated bits of them and made them a lot more universal. I've made some that are smaller and some that are larger that should work on a multitude of ships, and the end result is this here, which I've printed out onto some clear sticky back acetate, and as you can see I've created a sort of a various sort of a range of shapes, some longer, some smaller, and I'm hoping that I can just sort of cut these out and randomly place them onto the Snowspeeder to give it a sort of battle damage look. So let's go ahead and try applying these to Rareberg's ship, and we'll see what it looks like in the end. I've tried to make these stickers as universal as possible, so I've sort of designed them in such a way that they should work on most vehicles, and I've given a sort of a fairly wide range in sizes and shapes so that you can squeeze them on to sort of numerous locations. So for the Snowspeeder I'm just going to pick the ones that I think look the best and see if I can sort of plonk them on in various places just until I think they look right. So something like that could work quite nicely just to one side of the cockpit, and once I've got a few that I'm happy with the position, I'm going to stick them on. And here we have the finished ship. I've only actually used a few of these stickers that I made. I could have added them in sort of multiple different versions, but I thought this looked the best. And as you can see, the ship looks pretty nice. So it's now got the more realistic sticker sheet added and some custom battle damage. As you can see, there's a few blaster marks on this side. I've also added a couple more on the other side like that, and if I turn it over, I added one streak just across the bottom. I think it looks really nice. It looks much more in keeping with the movie version of the ship, and also much more in keeping with some of the other vehicles that were released in the Star Wars Kenner line. I think this now matches quite nicely the detailing and markings of the X-Wing and the TIE Fighters. So there you go, that's the custom job all finished. So I'm going to package this up and put this back in the post to Rareberg, returning the bare shell of a ship that they sent me in part 1, all complete and looking lovely, and really quite a nice ship that I would be proud to have on display in my own collection. So I hope they'll be really pleased with how this came out, and I hope that's been of interest to you all, and thanks for watching.